sweeter than a swisher. Mad cause I'm cuter than the girl that's with you. I don't gotta talk about it, baby, you can see it. But if you won't, I'll be happy to repeat it. My name is Carrie.
Hey guys, I'm Jude and you're watching Just on Random. This is a re-record of a look I've already done before. I just couldn't get it edited right, so I decided to redo the whole thing. Anyway, it is yellow in the center, copper outline, and brown in the crease. Red lips, and a very dramatic winged eyeliner. So if you want to see how I got this look, stay tuned and I'll show you.
Okay, so this is just a very quick run through of me doing my foundation. My daily foundation routine. I start on bad days, bad red face days. I start with concealer, spread it all over my face, make it nice and even, which I'm not showing you yet. This thing is weird. Anyway, I start with concealer, make sure it's all nice and even and concealed, covering all the red blotchy. Then right now I'm using L'Oreal's True Match and W8 Creme Cafe, or whatever you want to call it. I use that with like a little stippling brush. I call it a stippling brush. It's what I use to do my foundation with. I make sure it's all nice, even coverage. After that, I'm going to apply the same L'Oreal True Match pressed powder all over my face. Then after that, I use my blush, which is a mineral blush from Pure Minerals, I think. I don't remember the color. It's just I think I showed you the color on here. After that, I do my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are kind of awful. So I make sure they're not awful because I shave them I make sure I clean my eyebrows up at least every four days. So my eyebrows are pretty clean. They're just a little thin, and I fill them in. So that's basically my daily routine when I actually have somewhere to go, which I do today. So that's all for that. Okay, so hi everybody. I am going to start with Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. I'm going to use a little bit more than I usually do on my eyes because it's a really light look and I really want it to pop out with the yellow and the copper and the kind of light brown. Actually, it's the dark brown. You'll see. Anyway, I'm spreading the Primer Potion all over my eyes, as you can tell, with a little mix up right there. And I have Mirror Shine on my face. So I'm doing the same thing on the other eye. All over. Trying to get it as even as possible. And nice coverage. I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. A little little bit more sponging. Making sure I'm perfect. Because I am. No, I'm not conceited. I'm convinced, everybody. You should get used to that. Right now, I'm going to take our Stila eye kajal in the color Pearl. See? Pearl. I'm going to place that in the center of my eyes. Of my eyelids. All over in the center. Nice little even bit of coverage. And then I'm going to take my finger and smudge it out in the same place, just center of my eye. I'm doing this because this is where I'm placing the yellow, and I want the yellow to really pop. A little bit more cleanup. Now I'm going to take the two yellows I am pointed to. Well, my B&H 120 palette. I mix them up, so I don't know which one it is. Those two yellows. Actually, I'm using three yellows, but it's too late to show you that now. I'm using a flat shader brush. Any flat shader brush will do. Gonna mix the yellows together. It's my palette. I can do what I want. On the white, I'm going to place the yellow on the kajal, wherever, the little white spot. I'm going to place the yellow all over the eye, all over the spot, till it's nice and even. Until I like it, until I like I like it. Yes, I said I like I like it. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other eye. Make sure it's bright enough. Make sure my computer doesn't fall while I'm recording and talking to you guys. One take is all I'm doing. Now that it's nice and even, I'm going to take the two coppers and another flat shader brush. That's an elf shader brush, by the way. Those two coppers from my other one product palette, and I'm going to use Smog from Urban Decay, the loose pigment that I got. Use a little bit of that loose pigment in the corner of my eye, and I'm going to take it up just a little bit on both eyes, just in the tear duct area and a little bit above. Same thing on both eyes. Now I'm going to take the two coppers. I'm showing you the coppers again, those two, mixing them. I'm going to place that right above where I put the Urban Decay loose pigment, and I'm going to surround the yellow with that copper all over. Don't want to like cover the yellow up. I want the copper and the yellow to be definitely colors of their own, but I want a seamless look, so there will be blending. Take a little bit more. Just blending that out a little bit, making sure it's as seamless as possible. And that's a big seam. So out of my Too Faced palette in neutral, I'm going to use Cocoa Puff and Espresso, and I'm going to place that in the inner C and V, or whatever you want to call it, the crease of my eye, on both sides, until I get a nice amount of little coverage, till I get the colors as dark as I want them to be. Now I'm taking the Cocoa Puff. That was the Cocoa Puff. First it was the Espresso. Now that's the Cocoa Puff. Up and over. And the brush I'm using is technically a concealer brush, but it's so fluffy that I use it as a blending brush, so I really don't care. So I'm going to do the same thing and blend it out with that brush with a little windshield wiper motion. Oh, I switched brushes. I didn't see that. I'm going to switch it out, windshield wiper motion again until it's nice and blended on both eyes. Cleaning up a little smudging area. Fixing a boo-boo. That's what I'm doing. Right now, I'm just re-adding some yellow. Then I'm going to add a little bit more copper in, just so I can have the look that I want. Just so I can have the yellow as intense as I want it to be. A little bit more copper around. There we go. I'm just blending that with the shader brush, making sure, just replacing colors after blending. And I'm listening to Christian Kane, by the way, on my iPod. I kind of love him. You can tell by the little Christian Kane minute video I did a couple weeks ago. Just cleaning up a little bit. I was going to use that white, but I changed my mind. I'm going to use that fluffy brush. I'm going to use my press powder as a blending agent to make sure everything's all seamless and there's no harsh creases. Now I'm going to use that really light color from the 120 palette, and I'm going to use that as my highlight color. As you can tell, I'm highlighting. Just blending that out a little bit. And crap is falling everywhere now. Woohoo! Cleaning up a little bit. Just making sure it's blended to perfection. I haven't been doing this long, but I've been doing this long enough to know that I do not like harsh lines when it comes to my shadow. I use the same fluffy crease brush and blend that out a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow in the center to blend that out a little bit more, and a little bit more of the copper too, and to blend that out a little bit more. Making sure that's as even as possible. After I get done with all this, I stopped recording, did my liner and my mascara, and put black in my waterline, by the way.
Hey guys, so this is the finished look. I'm Jude. You've been watching Just So Random, and I'm gonna go pass out now. Later!
Pretty as a picture, sweeter than a swisher. Mad cause I'm cuter than the girl that's with you. I don't gotta talk about it, baby, you can see it.